Porsha Williams and her soon-to-be ex Simon Guobadia have taken their divorce battle straight to the courtroom. And let's just say it's getting ugly. But hold up, because things just took a wild turn. Simon, the Nigerian-born businessman, was detained by U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, at the Stewart Detention Center in Georgia. Now, here's where it gets real messy. Simon has actually been in the U.S. illegally since 1992. He originally sought temporary residency through the Special Agricultural Worker Program, but allegedly used a fake identity and covered up his criminal past. That fraudulent move landed him permanent residency, but the gag is, they didn't even know they were dealing with Simon Guobadia. And because his status was obtained unlawfully, he's never been able to secure U.S. citizenship under his real name. Now, fast forward to today, and the feds are not here for the lies. Immigration officials scooped him up, sent him straight to the detention center, and from the looks of it, Simon is on the first flight back to Nigeria. Meanwhile, Porsha, she is somewhere singing her best rendition of Oh Happy Day.
Do you have your passport? Did you get your shot? Who wants to come?
According to the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, Simon is currently being held in Lumpkin, Georgia. Porsha wasted no time hitting Instagram with a statement saying, "It's disheartening to see my estranged husband make choices that have led to this outcome. My priority is moving forward with my family." Whew, bless his heart. But girl, what exactly did he do? Well, just hours later, reports broke that Simon had been detained amid a mass deportation push. His ICE status now officially lists him as in custody, meaning he is being held by Immigration and Customs Enforcement. This detainment comes amid President Donald Trump's mass deportation plan, which he signed into effect earlier this year. After taking the Oval Office, under the order, illegal immigrants could be deported back to their home countries. Now let's take it all the way back. Simon first came to the U.S. in 1982, but overstayed his visa. By 1985, he was officially labeled as deportable. But get this, he still managed to re-enter in 1986 and overstayed again. In September of 1987, Guobadia was arrested for bank and credit card fraud and pleaded guilty to a felony offense. He was arrested in January 1989 for unauthorized use of a vehicle, and again in May of 1994 for fraud. So they were trying to get him out the country. They were like, enough is enough. But in January of 1991, Guobadia committed another felony offense, credit card fraud. In April of 1991, an immigration judge held a hearing and ordered Guobadia be deported. Now, on March 4th, 1992, Guobadia was deported and physically removed from the United States. Clearly, Simon had a reason for wanting to make his way back to America. Now, even though he didn't have his passport or his shots, Simon did remember that way back in 1988. He pulled a fast one, applying for temporary residency under the Special Agricultural Worker Program using a fake identity. Now, when he submitted this application, he conveniently left out his criminal past because, well, he wasn't exactly being himself. Now, because of all those little lies and omissions, his application went through, and by July 1991, he had that temporary residency card in hand. Now, Simon received his permanent residency card on April 27, 1992, 26 days after he had been deported under his other undisclosed identity. So in 1992, Simon was once again back in the United States after using a different identity and obtaining a green card, something immigration officials eventually caught on to. So now he was here illegally. Now Simon received his permanent residency card on April 27, 1992, 26 days after he had been deported under his other undisclosed identity. So in 1992, Simon was once again back in the United States after using a different identity and obtaining a green card. This all hit the fan just days before Porsha filed for divorce. After that, Simon hopped on social media bragging about living in the US for 42 years like that was gonna change anything. Then he tried to take legal action, filing a complaint to get the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services to reverse their decision and grant him naturalization. But the government hit back, basically telling him he hadn't given them any real reason to approve his case. In short, he had no legal ground to stand on. To be granted naturalization, Simon would have had to prove he was lawfully admitted into the U.S. as a permanent resident, and y'all already know that was never the case. In 1992, he re-entered and stayed under a whole different name, while also lying about his criminal record and even his marital status.
It was all a lie. Guys, it was all a lie.
Now, this is exactly why his citizenship application keeps getting denied over and over again. And here's the kicker. He doesn't even deny any of it. He fully admits to the fraud, the felony record, all of it. But he swears USCIS is doing too much by focusing on his past and insists the government is to blame for not catching his lies sooner. Simon really wants them to just overlook his deception on that SAW application and go ahead and grant him naturalization. But the government, they said absolutely not. Fast forward to January 11th, 2025, and Simon's case got dismissed, meaning he's back to being deportable. Then, a week ago, Simon hopped on Instagram and let loose, saying, "I think a man with a college degree and 35 years of professional and business experience can read a prenup and knows what it says. Shaking my damn head. Hashtag every day for the thief. Hashtag one day for the owner." He then goes on to say, "Caption speaks for itself, and I mean every single word. On second thought, the saying every day for the thief, one day for the owner means that while a thief may get away with wrongdoings for a long time, eventually they will be caught or face justice. It highlights the idea that dishonesty or crime might seem to go unpunished for a while, but sooner or later the rightful owner or justice will prevail. It's a reminder that wrongdoing doesn't last forever and consequences are inevitable. That divorce can still proceed even if your spouse is detained or deported, as long as the court has jurisdiction over the case. The court will generally allow the divorce to continue even in the absence of the spouse, though it might take longer to finalize if your spouse is unreachable. Now, with Porsha and Simon's divorce being contested, I don't know how this is going to play out. Maybe one of my legal eagles in the comments can break it down for me. But now I need to hear from y'all. What do you think about Simon Gabadia's legal drama? Drop your thoughts in the comments.
Do you have your passport? Did you get your shot? Who wants to come? America, America.
It was all a lie. Guys, it was all